Good morning. This is Blaine's World podcast that can be found each week on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can also listen in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You get more information and listen to previous shows on our website, which is behind me, I think, www.blainesworld.net. I'm your host, Blaine Greenfield, and I'm here in my Zoom studio in lovely downtown Fairview, North Carolina. Each week, we focus on positive news and information about people and organizations in both Western North Carolina and throughout the country. And toward that end, it's my pleasure to introduce Connie Hurst and Steve Jencks with the Old Fort Community Players. And folks, you can wave to all your friends and fans and friends who are watching this. So that's Connie and Steve. I should mention that Connie Hurst is the founder of a new theatrical group, the Old Fort Community Players in Old Fort, North Carolina. She has a strong theatrical background as an actor, costumer, graphic designer, and playwright. Steve Jencks has been entertaining people in one way or another all his life. He has appeared on various stages with many theater companies in Western North Carolina. He also owns Incredible Towns of WNC, Internet Marketing Company, hosts business networking meetings all over the state. As I mentioned to you, Steve, I want you to come back again. We'll talk more about that as well. It's the really good stuff you do in that. And so first question, let me start off with both of you, since I've never met Connie before on the air, and Steve, I think we spoke once or twice before. But Connie, as a child, you grew up where?
Ohio.
Okay.
But I moved to Florida in my 20s, and that's when I started theater when I was in Florida.
Okay. So when did you decide then you want to be in theater? It wasn't until your 20s?
Well, no, I always wanted to be in theater because I loved Shirley Temple and I wanted to be her.
Okay.
But I didn't really
can
get
see
the
it.
opportunity. Yeah.
So
until I got a little older.
But before then, did you do any acting as a kid?
Not really, no. Just around the house.
Okay, great. And Steve, I'll ask you the same thing too, because I know you as an entrepreneur. I know you also as an actor. When did you start acting?
I started entertaining at about, there's home video of home movies of me entertaining at age 4 in California. So it's pretty much all my life.
Okay. And what was the first show you were ever in? Do you remember?
Jeez, I believe it was A Christmas Carol in junior high school, where they turned it into a comedy, and I was playing Bob Cratchit.
And
You're playing Bob Cratchit again.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
He's being typecast, but I find that hard to believe because you're such a serious guy, Steve, and I can see you in very serious dramatic roles.
Blaine, I thought you knew me better than that.
Okay. The Bob Cratchit thing, though, do you have a tape of that performance anywhere?
Oh, God, heavens, no. It's junior high school. That was like early 70s.
Because I have this idea, Steve, I've shared with other people in the area. I'll share with you and Connie, and maybe we can even do it as a fundraiser, Connie, for the Old Fort Community Players. But wouldn't it be a cool thing if everybody recreated their very first role? So Steve as a kid, he doesn't have it. So when you laugh, Steve, but when to show your girlfriend, Steve, or to show other people, here's what it was like, Or Connie, do you remember your very first role?
Oh, I certainly do. It was the housekeeper in The Man of La Mancha.
Oh, okay.
1997.
Okay, same thing too, though. Do we have a record of that somewhere?
I don't. No.
Okay. Well, anyway, think about that. We'll do that as a fundraiser for your group here. So you guys then both started. Steve was acting for a long time, and then you started a little bit later. Update me then. Since then, Steve, we'll start off with you. So you did some stuff as a kid. Talk about your acting. What else you did since then?
Well, I did some in junior high and high school, and a little bit after high school. Then I stopped. I got into radio. I was an on-air DJ for a long time, and then I had kids, and the kids got involved in theater. And then one day I was taking my youngest, Caitlin, to an audition at the Montfort Park Players for Midsummer Night's Dream. And, I hung around. I knew a lot of the people, and I said, okay, I'll be out here waiting for you, visiting with my friends. She said, no, I found out you did theater in school. You're coming in and auditioning too. So I got into Midsummer Night's Dream 10 or 12 years ago. So I started back and was on stage till 2019, and then discovered that my misspent youth had an impact on my memory. And so I'm really good with staged readings now, but on stage with memorization, not so much.
Well, the fun thing I always got a kick out of seeing you, I think, a couple times at Magnetic Theater. you would do
Yeah.
a couple of the fun things there, and they were just like fun, silly things. But I really enjoyed performing. But now you prefer the stage readings. You can handle that.
Yeah, that's the lines are right there in front of me. It's fine, and I don't embarrass myself and make everyone else uncomfortable when I forget lines on stage. So let's play to our strengths here.
By the way, I have something else for both of you that I've been in. I'm going to be in this coming year, but this is another thing you could be involved in, Steve. Have you ever heard of something called a production called A Road to Bethlehem? Have you ever heard
I
of
have
it?
not.
One of the local churches does it, Connie, and they invite members of the community, 50, 60 people come in to take all the parts of the role of Christ, the Christ journey. And so I'll invite you, I'll send you information on it, but it's just a fun kind of thing to do. And the only thing disappointing about it, Steve, is that a couple of years ago, I played a rabbi. Last year I was a god, a soldier, but I was annoyed, Connie, because I wanted to be a baby Jesus, and they wouldn't let me be baby Jesus. I was crushed. So
I think
I'm
it was
sure
the
that they
beard.
have swaddling that big.
well, the other one, Connie, if not, then Steve, maybe you and I can be in this together. I could be a jackass, and they actually have live animals, but there's not much to memorize. So if I can get you into that, just
I can hit you with those leaves
Well,
as we go by.
But Connie, seriously, it's just a fun thing. So that's coming up. But more importantly, I'd like to talk about what you folks are coming up with. So how do you then, I'll turn to Connie, that I've been hearing, I guess, about the Old Fort community plays for a couple of years now. I was kind of interested in it. Talk to me about the evolution of the company.
Well, like I said earlier, I had been trying to get a community theater started for Old Fort because Old Fort is blossoming. We've got our 2 breweries now. There's a winery coming in. There's new businesses coming in. And we have a great art gallery there, but we need some more cultural activities. And theater is a wonderful way to build community and to get everyone involved. And it's a camaraderie, and everyone's just, it's just a fun thing. So I didn't really have too much success the first 2 times I tried. And so in July, I was commissioned to write a small 1-act for the 150 Project, which is another group in Old Fort that celebrated 150 years of history. And we did that at the Mountain Gateway Museum at one of the cabins, a step cabin. And I had people come and audition, and we had 10 or 12 people playing different roles of founders and historical people that, founded the town. And we had 100 people show up all on the lawn, and it was all just on a donation basis. And we made a couple $100. And so I decided, well, maybe this might be the time to go ahead and start that project. That was in July. Now, since then, we've been able to rent a studio at the Arrowhead where we can make props and do costuming. And it's a central hub for everybody to come and do theater stuff. So then we did another show at the amphitheater. It was a Shakespearean spoof written by a guy who wrote 1970s sitcoms in California. He wrote the Bob Newhart Show. And this was a lot of fun. And again, we had, full house. And we decided to just keep everything on donation basis right now so that everybody can see the show, whether they have any money or not.
Well,
and then after that,
the nice thing about the donation base, it said a couple bucks on it, is it paid for the T-shirt too. So that's kind of nice.
Oh, yes, the T-shirts.
Okay, so that's one of the nice things about being it. But that's pretty exciting. So you went from nothing, now you've done a couple productions. And Steve, I want to ask you how you found out about the Old Fort Community Theaters. How did you get involved?
I've known Connie since we did a show called Queen of Bingo out in Black Mountain a few years back. And we stay in touch on Facebook and everything, and I saw her announcements for it, and then she messaged me and wanted me to do another staged reading for something else recently, and here we are.
The Art in the Park, Steve.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And talk, Steve, and some people I think have a misconception about staged readings. Talk about what a staged reading is, as you see it.
Well, I've seen several different kinds of them, but generally speaking, it's the actors with scripts. They're either sitting in chairs or on stools. They have their scripts on their music stands, and they're acting. They're just acting, with the script in hand. We're not moving around the stage much. Some staged readings get a little more elaborate, I've seen, and but mostly you're just sitting there and creating the actual theatrical stage production with your voice. And occasionally someone will read stage directions, or your people can use their imagination a little bit, but if it's done right and done well, it's a thoroughly enjoyable production.
The nice thing too, we should mention, Stephen, and we'll turn to Connie in a second on this, is it's also something you actually have to rehearse, though. It's not something you just come in one night and perform it. Like, Connie, I'll ask, the upcoming play you're going to be doing, are you directing it, or are you in
I
it?
am. Mhm.
Okay, so talk about the process. And by the way, you mentioned the dates and the again, can you mention the dates and the name of the play?
Sure. It is a staged reading of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. We will put the first show up on December the 9th. That's a Saturday at 6:30. The second show goes up on Saturday, December the 16th at 6:30. Both shows will be at the Davis Country Store and Cafe, and that's at 75 East Main Street in Old Fort. Now, our production, we have some elaborate props and costumes. So we're going to have a little bit more, it'll be a little bit more dramatic than a traditional staged reading. And we'll have music as well, and we'll have sound effects. But each character, actually we have 10 people, and all of them except for Scrooge are reading 4 characters. So they'll have different props to put on for each character that they read. They'll use a different voice and a different kind of gait or whatever they can. That's up to the actors to define what the character would sound like and look like. So that's a real challenge, but it's fun.
And talk about, if you would, the rehearsal process on this. So are you in rehearsal now for it?
Not yet. We are going to rehearse after Thanksgiving. We're going to have 2 rehearsals and then a dress rehearsal. So it doesn't require like a full scale rehearsal, but the library in Old Fort has given us use of their big conference room for 2 of the rehearsals, and then we'll rehearse the last one where we'll have everything that we need, and it'll be like a show, a dress rehearsal. We'll have that at the cafe itself. And I just want to mention that we've gotten really good responses, because we don't have a fixed brick and mortar building. We don't have money really. So we're utilizing places in Old Fort that let us do it for free, like the museum, like the library. But we do pay for our studio space. And there are some things that we'd like to have for next year for outdoor performances. We have a GoFundMe campaign right now, because I'd like to be able to get a portable stage and some other things so that we can put up outdoor performances.
Now, at the cafe, how many seats does that hold?
That's a pretty small venue, probably 25 or 30 to push it.
The reason I ask, because you'll see with Steve, with all his many fans and friends, he's going to have at least 26 people there, for this reading. But in all
they can do standing room.
Okay, but in all seriousness, can people make a reservation, or do you want them to reserve seats?
We're not doing that. It's whoever comes. We'll just come, and people can bring a camp chair or something too.
Oh, okay.
It's very informal, and it's a nice little room. It has a fireplace. We'll be in front of the fireplace there. But if people want to bring their own small chair or something, that would be fine. And then we can probably put more people in.
I was going to say, maybe mention that in the publicity for it, or I have that entertainment page.
Oh.
Please put it on there too.
I will. I'm going to put it up on our Facebook page soon.
Okay, that'd be great. Event. Steve, now in terms of reading, so you have this upcoming one. You've done other stage readings?
Yes, and I'm surprised I had forgotten last weekend in Hendersonville, at the Hendersonville Theater. There's a thing that happens all over the country.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I'm forgetting the name of it now.
The gun violence thing?
Yeah, Teens Right plays taking a stand against gun violence, and they choose 6 of them every year, and they do staged readings all over the country, all at the same time. And it was most enjoyable. We had no rehearsal. I had, I have a background in radio, and I've literally made thousands of commercials for the radio. So it's like, oh, there's the script. Okay, let's read this out, and we're good. So I didn't have much of a problem, and fortunately, most of the other people didn't either. And there were 6, 7, 8 of us on stage, I think. But yeah, I've done a few, but looking forward to doing more. They're quite fun.
And that sounds like it was a terrific event, the nature of it. Did it go over well?
It absolutely was. Trying to remember what it was called, but it's not there, and it's not in my calendar.
No, but as Connie said, it was about the shows dealing with gun violence. And
yes.
That's pretty cool that the kids wrote that. Connie,
and there was some good writing too. There was some really good writing.
Wow.
A couple of them had me in tears on the stage while the thing's going on.
Yeah, that must be when you were acting also, or
no, it was just, they were really good stories. A couple of them, first time I'd heard or read them or anything, because we had no rehearsals. It was like, show up, okay, we'll do a quick read through on a couple of problems areas for an hour before the show starts.
But that's pretty powerful to get you to cry.
It was great. It was great.
And Connie, let's go back to this upcoming stage reading. I want to ask you to kind of move a little bit. You should put together, I'm really impressed. For a stage reading, you have a pretty big sized cast. If you would kind of talk a little bit about this, but also how do you get the people to come forward to be in the show?
Well, I put out a casting notice, and I also reached out to some actors that I've worked with previously, and we held a beginner's acting class at the library. And so those people that came to the acting class, about 7 of them, they all had first refusal for the staged reading. I wanted to give them,
very nice,
a way to showcase what they'd learned in the class. So we have about 3 or 4 from that class, and then we have other people that I reached out to, and a couple of people that I cast.
Did you teach that course also?
Yes.
Okay, so is that something through Old Fort Community Players you're going to be offering various courses? Yeah, very exciting.
Actually, our name is Actors Lab at Studio 2, because that's the studio that we're in at the Arrowhead Gallery, but it's home of the Old Fort Community Players. So that's what our Facebook page is. That's what our name is, Actors Lab at Studio 2. If somebody looks that up on Facebook, that's how they'll find us.
But they can also find you. Is there a Facebook page for Old Fort Community Players?
No, there's not.
Yeah, you might want to think about it. I'm just throwing it out because it seems,
actually, there's a long story with that. I did have a page called Old Fort Community Players, and it got hacked into and taken down. So I didn't want to repeat that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I renamed it Actors Lab at Studio 2, home of Old Fort Community Players.
And join the crowd. I don't know, see if you've seen it, but everybody in the world has been got hacked, at some point in time, it seems, on Facebook, including yours truly. But if you would, I can have you move to a little bit to the side. But I love that you have the cast up there, and we can just kind of give a shout out to some of those people.
Yeah. Well, there's Steve over on the end. Can you see him?
What a handsome devil.
Okay. Wait, different look though, right? On Steve, I can't see it close. You don't have is that same look?
There's the look.
Okay, is it? Okay. There he is. Okay.
Let's see.
On the other end, I think.
You'll find it.
There.
Oh, no, it's over here.
Yeah, it's
oh,
backwards.
there he is.
Oh, there he is. Okay, now I see it.
That's my professional headshot from Headshots 1.
Okay, very good. Okay, look at that smile. So as you were pointing out, you don't have to put up close.
This is our Scrooge.
Okay, who is the guy up front there?
This is Tom Harrison. He's a professional actor from Boone. Been in a bunch of stuff, did some movies, as well as Mark Cameron. You know Mark Cameron.
Yeah, great.
So, and there's Letisa over here. She's going to narrate for us.
That's my baby.
So, yeah, and the youngest is Mason Gardner. There he is, Mason Gardner. He plays Tiny Tim along with a couple other, of course, things. But, and there's Chuck Aldridge. he plays Marley.
Who
So
does,
yeah,
what's Mark Cameron's role?
he is Fezziwig, and he is the ghost of Christmas Present.
Very talented
So yes, he's
actors.
very talented. Yeah.
So I'm very impressed too, especially for the people in the class. But one of the nice things, so it seems they all got headshots, professional headshots done for this, or they look really good.
Some people did. And for some people, I just stole pictures off their Facebook page, and they didn't. Of course, I asked them if that was all right, and they said yes. So some people have professional headshots, yes.
The show opens up in a little bit. How many rehearsals are you planning to have for it?
Just 3. Yeah, just 3 rehearsals. 2 at the library and 1 dress rehearsal at the cafe. And that'll be the week of December 2nd.
And Steve, that'll be a change for Steve, certainly, in comparison to what you just did with no rehearsal. Just here's the script. So do you already have the script yet?
Yes.
Steve?
It helps if I unmute myself. Yes, I have the script and I have looked through it, and I'm ready.
Well, you see, we have a lot of elements. We have a lot of props. There's right. You saw some of them. We have a lot of props.
We have some stuff to work with to get used to.
Okay, well, that'll be fun. See, let me ask you in terms of preparing for a show like this. I've always wondered, even stage reading, do you read the script beforehand or a couple of times? Or how many times do you read it before you're ready with it?
Honestly, this one I glanced through it because I've been involved with Christmas Carol many times over the years. Montford Park Players used to do it every year.
Oh, that's right.
And I've been involved with it in one form or another many times over the years. So I glanced through it and see what I'm doing. The one that we did in Hendersonville a couple of weeks ago, I read through those a few times before actually getting on the stage, because I knew we were going to have no rehearsal and it was not familiar. So it just depends on, like I said, I have that background of picking up a 60-second commercial script, and 62 seconds later the commercial's done.
Right, I was going to say that.
So old habits die hard.
Now, you mentioned in terms of the stage readings, and you're looking to more of that. What's interesting, Steve, and I think you probably have seen this too, that a lot of theaters now are having stage readings.
Yes, they are.
I mean, you name it, Connie. I don't know if you've seen it in the Asheville area, but almost every Asheville theater now has stage readings, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Even ACT has it. Parkway has it. You name it, they're all having stage readings, and they seem to be very popular. When you did the show at Hendersonville, did a lot of people come out to see it?
Sold out.
Was it really?
Yes, it was. It was great.
Yeah, very exciting. So, Connie, you're looking to then, after this upcoming one, you're looking to other readings?
Sure. We're going to, this will probably be the last thing that we do for this year. Then we have some caroling, Christmas caroling with the town too. For the parade, we'll have a presence there, and also for the town lighting ceremony, we'll be caroling there. But next year, I want to do 2 full plays, one that I've written, and also some staged readings. We want to do some theater in the park over at the amphitheater. We're going to do a kids theater camp, summer camp, and we're going to put on more workshops and classes and improv and a few things like that. Maybe monologues. And so, we're going to put together a whole year of theater next year.
And by the way, when you do that, especially with a show that you've written, now that you know how to be on, you can do a video cast here. Let's talk about that one as well. Especially if it's going to be that's going to be a full length play, the one you wrote.
Well, the one I'm going to write is probably going to be closer to 2 or 3 acts, and it is based on a true story about a pathologist who stole Einstein's brain. So I'm gonna.
Is that going to be a comedy, or what is that?
Well, yes, but it's based on a true story.
Is it really? Wow.
Mm-hmm. The guy who did the what's it called? After you die and they open you up.
Autopsy.
The autopsy, yeah. The person who did the autopsy stole Einstein's brain and kept it in his basement for about 40 years until it was discovered. But he would slice parts of it off and give it out as Christmas presents to his friends and family.
Sounds
Yeah, so
sounds like a lot of fun.
it's going to be fun. Yeah, I'm going to add a few elements. I mean, because I can take the license to do that. Maybe a few elements from maybe like Young Frankenstein.
Well,
Or
you said that. I don't know, Steve, if you saw it, or Connie. Did you see it at Hendersonville? They just did it. Young
I
Frankenstein.
yes, they did.
sponsored it.
Oh, you did very nice, Steve. They did a great job.
Yeah, and saw it. It was great. It was. I think that was some of the finest choreography that I have seen in Western North Carolina ever. And I've been here 24 years.
It was great.
It was amazing.
Well, they also did it at Asheville Community Theater a bunch of years ago, and I was the guy they took the brain from, so I can relate to the. So if you're looking, kind of when you go close to the show, you're looking for somebody to be the guy take the brain out
Abby
of.
Normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Abby Normal.
Keep me in mind. But great show. So let me ask you the same question, Steve. After this gig, anything down the road or anything you see yourself doing from a theatrical standpoint?
I like being a patron of the arts. I like going to theater. Leticia, my lady friend, is going to be doing one or two things with Different Strokes Performing Arts Collective. Maybe on stage, probably doing makeup and hair and things. So I'll go see those. But I love watching plays. I did it. I was around it long enough that every show I see, I know somebody on the stage. And so that's fun too. As far as I'm not getting back on stage unless it's with a script in the hand, because the last experience I had was not pleasant for anyone. So stage readings, I'm all for it. I love that. Or give me a bit part with one or two lines and I can play a corpse or something. Yeah, cool, we're there.
Real quick, I'll tell you a story of me. Same thing too, Connie. I think as you get older, I guess so for some people it's a memory thing. So I'm like Steve. I'm not an actor like you guys are, but I can do one or two lines. I was in a show called Hands on a Hard Body. Do you know the show?
Oh yes.
Okay. Anyway, we did
Jerry
the show.
Crouch.
Yeah, right. And he was director at the time. Did you see it?
I did not see it, but I knew about it.
Anyway, the show, Steve, my wife was disappointed. She thought I was a hard body, but I wasn't. You know, they had to keep the hands on a car to win a truck. Anyway, real quick. So I have 5 lines, which was 3 too many for me, Connie. And I played a psychiatrist. I had to remember to say, if you keep your hands on the truck, you're going to suffer from psychosis, neurosis, and hallucination, something like that. Anyway, I get up, Steve, and I say the 3 lines. I say you can suffer from psychosis, neurosis, and halitosis. And fortunately, the guy saved me, Connie. But that was about it for my acting. It's 3 too many lines.
Yeah.
See, I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah,
to do improv. To have to improv. And then everybody gets back on board. You get lost for a few minutes, so you throw some stuff out and you play together, and then everybody finds the place again, and nobody knows the difference.
Well, back to you folks. Do you say
that's great unless it's Shakespeare?
Oh yes, unless it's Shakespeare.
Can't ad-lib Shakespeare.
Right, you can, but anyway, do you see yourself also, because that's very hot, it seems, Steve, in the area now, all these improv, everybody's offering improv courses. Do you see yourself doing that, Connie, offering something in that area?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we'll do that next year. We'll have a class in improv, and then I'm going to try to maybe talk to the breweries there and maybe have an improv night.
Wow.
At one of the breweries or both of the breweries. And there's a big area that's between the breweries. It's going to be developed as a park with a big amphitheater in it. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to utilize that when that happens too. Probably a couple of years from now.
And what's so cool about what you're doing is that, at least to my knowledge, that again, I don't know Old Fort really well, but there hadn't been a lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff in Asheville, a lot of stuff elsewhere. What's happening, Steve, I don't know if you're reading about it or seeing it, but it's sad that some places are closing too, so instead of having more opportunity for theater, a lot of people are looking for places. So I think that you're doing stuff up there. I think it's really cool. So I encourage you to continue doing that in the future. Let me kind of recap here, guys. Let me just ask the question. So back to Steve, if somebody wants to follow you, and again, we'll have an upcoming show on Incredible Towns, but since we're mentioning it, why don't you just mention what Incredible Towns is, what you do in your spare time, if you will, and explain that. What is Incredible Towns?
The really short version is Incredible Towns gets business found on the internet. We're marketing, loosely put, internet marketing. What I do for my clients gets them higher ranked in Google searches. All my clients. We're priced for small and startup businesses. So I'm getting a lot of reward from helping entrepreneurs realize their dreams, and I am helping a lot of them, and it's wonderful. And we're also hosting business networking meetings. It's called Incredible Business Networking. We have 7 meetings around the area, including one in Boone. And we're also looking for meeting leaders to start more meetings. So it's small and startup business focused, but our networking meetings are open for anyone. We've had bankers and hospital people there, and and the dog whisperer. We've had everyone in between, and always do.
If Steve, if folks want to find out about that, or in general contact you, what's the best bet?
Incredibletowns.com.
Okay, that's certainly easy enough to remember.
It is really easy. It's incredibletowns.com and Steve Jencks at incredibletowns.
Okay, I just want to thank you for the great job you do with that. I mean, the meetings are great, and getting the turnout there. And again,
it's rewarding.
It is, and you're asking people to just come to support them. And again, thank you for that. And again, remind me after we're off there, we'll line you up for a show just on that program. And Connie, if I can ask you the same thing too, if people want to find out about the group you're involved in, best bet is through for your Facebook, you said?
Yes, I just need to look at Actors Lab at Studio 2. The Facebook page will come right up, and they can see what we're doing and what we're planning on, and how they can get involved, how they can support, and everyone is invited, whether you are an actor or not. We still need people to help us build sets and props and costuming and just move stuff around. So anybody that's interested can come and join us, and hopefully we're just going to grow and grow and grow.
Now, she mentioned
they can also email me.
I was just going to ask you that, because if they don't have a Facebook page, Connie, your email address?
Yeah, it's Connie Hurst, ConnieHurst 112 @gmail.com.
Okay, I'll ask you one last time to repeat both the Facebook page and the email address.
Yes, the Facebook page is Actors Lab at Studio 2, and the email is Connie Hurst, ConnieHurst 112 @gmail.com.
Okay, I want to thank you also, Connie, for getting this off the ground. Like from a couple of years ago, you were nowhere. Now you're doing productions. And
well, I wasn't nowhere.
Well, but you went. Well, we didn't have productions. We didn't.
I'm just teasing.
Anyway, but really, great job.
Well, theater is a calling for me. I have to do it. I tried to stop doing it, and I couldn't. So, and I do everything in-house. I do all the programming and the printing, and I was a graphic designer in another life. So there's not a lot of money to shell out. I mean, we still need things, but we keep everything very simple and very cheap.
Well, I just want to congratulate you for a great job you're doing, Steve. As always, a pleasure. Hopefully we'll bump into each other sometime in the next couple of years, whatever. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.